Hello, Sarah here. Today we're going to be talking about if you use food or alcohol or other substances as your therapist, and if emotional trauma leads to emotional eating. So we're going to break that down in today's video. So I am glad that you are here, and let's dive into this. So if you're someone who realizes that I use food, alcohol, pills, substances as my therapist, or wondering what that even means, and or realizing there is a link and a connection between your emotional feelings, your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, all the things that trigger you, and your food use or lack of. So does emotional trauma lead to emotional eating? Is there a correlation? Is there a connection? Well, if you are someone who turns to those types of things, just the way that you would turn to a therapist to try and find relief from the emotions that you feel, you may be. And I hope that you get what you need out of this video. So if you are someone who realizes every day before I go to bed, I have a glass of wine to wind down, right? And you're someone who has a story playing in your mind, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, or feel that urge when you're walking down the grocery store aisle to not leave the grocery store until you go down the dessert aisle, the cookie aisle, the treat aisle, even though you don't want those things, or at least it's what you tell yourself, even though you're going to be better and you're going to start eating differently, start taking care of yourself, start exercising. What is that urge? What's that pull within you that has you turn to those things outside of you? That looking for something to take away the feelings that you don't want to feel. You want to feel better and you know you want to feel better. That's why you go to a therapist. I don't feel good. I want to feel better. I need some help. I need some support. How is food and alcohol and pills like your therapist? Well, they give you that relief, that temporary relief. And you go to them because you want to feel better, right? And with food and alcohol and substances, it's just so easy, especially because we need those things anyways. So all of the things we're going to be talking about today are characteristics of the stuffer and bottler archetype that I go much deeper into in my free masterclass and training, and that you can heal from the very core and root of inside our Transforming Past Pain to Present Power program. So you can find out more information in the links in the description below this video for those. But until that, let's talk more about this, because you're using these things outside of you to try and manage or change the things that you're feeling within you. And that's what emotions are. Emotions are in motion. Emotions are within us. And we turn to things outside of us, just like a therapist or just like a bottle of wine or a box of cookies or a bag of chips. Those are things that are outside of us. We turn to those to try and change the things that are inside of us, those things that we don't want to feel within us, those emotions that are in motion, meaning they're constantly changing. 1 second, I can get great news of, oh, this went through. Yay. Oh gosh. And then I can get a text message from someone that, "Ugh, are you kidding me?" And that's happening constantly throughout the day, all day, every day. It's happening, whether it's happening or not. We can just have a thought about it. And then our body responds and reacts as if it's happening. And we're thinking, wait a minute. And we feel like we've lost control of the things that we can control. And we know that we've heard that, we've been told that. Just focus on the things that you can control. I know, and you can probably feel your eyes rolling in the back of your head every time that you hear someone say that, or you hear yourself say that. Well, I control the things that I can control. Yeah, I know that my therapist said that to me, and I can't. But you know what I can? Having another glass of wine, not pouring the chips into a bowl, just eating them straight out of the bag. And that changes how we feel. It changes what we're focused on. It changes what we're doing. It alters our state. So we're turning to those things to try and change those things within us, those emotions, those feelings, those things that we don't want to feel anymore, those things that we don't want to think about anymore. I'm just going to think about how good this cookie is. I'm just going to think about, you know what? I'm just going to finish this glass of wine while I'm cooking dinner so I can have the first one with my dinner. All of those stories that we have going on in our minds, and we're humans. And because we're humans, we're constantly learning, we're constantly changing and evolving, and we're constantly messing up and making mistakes as well. That is how we learn. We learn through our emotions. Our emotions signal us. They tell us, they teach us about what's going on within us and where we're at with that. And just like mistakes come with emotions, emotions and mistakes comes with beliefs. And so how do we get untangled from all of this, right? What's a belief? What's an emotion? What's a thought? What's the thing that I do that I shouldn't do? What's the thing that's preventing me from not doing the thing that I don't want to do anymore? Because when I do it, it makes me feel horrible about myself. It makes me feel bad. And when I feel bad because I made a mistake, I'm just going to turn to this because it gives me a temporary relief and freedom from that feeling that I don't like feeling or want to feel, just like a therapist does, right? I wonder if you're seeing the connection and the correlation. Because as we're evolving, as we're learning, as we're growing, just like a little child becoming a teenager and then a young adult and then an older adult, we learn, we move, we navigate, we grow, and we go through this journey by making a lot of mistakes and learning about ourselves because of those mistakes and really connecting with those beliefs that we have about ourselves because of those learnings and lessons and opportunities. And we can call them mistakes or we can call them opportunities. We can call them learning lessons. And there's a big feeling energetically in the difference of what you feel and what you experience based upon what you call it. Am I calling everything that I do and mess up a mistake, or am I calling it an opportunity and a learning lesson? There's a big difference in how you feel energetically and what you believe about yourself because of those things. So we can go from a small oops, a simple mistake, to another. And if we have beliefs about ourselves that we're not good enough, that we are a failure, that we are a mess up, the next thought we can have is, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I always do this. And then this feeling, I can't dare tell anyone about this. Are you kidding me? And then another action to try and take to cover it up and keep it a secret out of the embarrassment. Again, another feeling that this is embarrassing. I don't want anybody to know about this, but then the belief is I am an embarrassment because of those patterns and actions and steps that I've taken and things that I've done to try and cover it up. And you know what? I don't want anyone to know because that's embarrassing. They don't need to know. It won't hurt them, right? What they don't know can't hurt them. And so you just tell a little white lie about it, and then you feel more shame and you feel more guilt and you feel more embarrassment because now you're further down the road. And if you would have simply stopped while you were ahead and asked for help or support, maybe you could have gotten it then and it wouldn't have gone this far. And now it has, and so you feel bad. And so you spend hours and hours on end trying to figure out what to do. And you spend more time and more energy trying to figure out what your next move should be. And finding now I'm so deep into this, I'm so far into this, I can't turn back now. So I just got to keep going. But I'm afraid, I'm scared. What if this all gets exposed? What if it all comes to fruition? Oh my gosh. Now talk about the emotions that you feel. The heavy, dark emotions that you feel stuck in, that you feel trapped in, because they just continue to pile up because of the things that you do and the thoughts that you have and the beliefs that are hidden under there somewhere. I'm never going to get out of this. What's it going to take to get out of this? Oh my gosh. Now you're turning to something outside of you to provide you relief from those things, some kind of comfort, some kind of please make me feel better. I need a glass of wine. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Is it happy hour? Hey, you want to go? You want to go get something so we can? Yeah, let's just. What's with that with you? How are things going? All in an effort to try and find relief from those things that you feel, and looking for something that you can connect with that comforts you. That's like have you think about or feel all those mistakes that feel like you're an embarrassment, feel like you're a failure. So you turn to medication, you turn to pills, you turn to food. Food that you know is bad for you. Nobody craves salad, lettuce, carrots, cucumbers when they're depressed. You crave things that are full of fat and full of sugar. Because guess what was full of fat and sugar when you were younger? Breast milk. It's the very first thing that your body needed in order to survive, right when you came here. Full of fat, full of sugar. And now you're an adult and you know that you're no longer breastfeeding or using formula that's designed to match that same thing. That would be weird. Now you're an adult and you're still looking for that comfort and that inner sense of connection, the relief, that closeness, that comfort that a baby gets when it nurses on its mom. Same thing, full of fat, full of sugar, full of comfort, full of love, full of closeness, connection. And now we're still looking for that, but we know, and you may not have thought about this before, but you know you're not logically nursing on your mom anymore. You still want that. You still crave that. You still feel like you need it. So you turn to things outside of you. Food, alcohol, drugs, anything that will numb the discomfort and provide you comfort in the interim and give you that temporary relief. And this is why it's so easy to turn to food and alcohol or pills or drugs or whatever it is, you turn to things that are simple and easy and readily available. Anything to take you away from that temporary feeling of discomfort and give you that feeling of connection and comfort. Those things that make you feel better, just like a therapist should, right? So those things become your therapist for a time. And then you think, no, those things are not my therapist. I have a therapist. I talk to her about these things, right? And when you're talking, you're feeling connection. You're feeling heard, you're feeling understood until you're not, because you don't have that relief. Because you're just talking about it. You're not getting to the very core and the root of the beliefs that are causing you to turn to all those things. And that's where the breakthrough is. And that's really the fastest way to change everything. But until then, you want something, anything, you don't have to think about those things. Well, because you don't want to think about those things, it's just too much. So what's the fastest and easiest and simplest thing I can get? I can turn to? Well, it's always food and drink, because we need those things in order to survive anyways. And there's a connection with them, a closeness, a comfort, because they allow you to survive. You can survive without a therapist, but you can't survive without food or drink. And you feel like you can't survive with the heaviness of these emotions that you're feeling that seem too big, too much, too overwhelming. And those are connected to the beliefs you have about yourself. You're too much. Can't handle it. You're not good enough. All those things you want freedom from feeling. And before you know it, you find that you develop these habits, maybe turn you to food or pills or alcohol or drugs over time, because those are the things that have been there for you when you needed them the most, when you needed that relief the most. And now every time you feel an overwhelming sense of a feeling or an emotion or a sensation that you don't want to feel and you're upset, you don't just have one chip or one cookie. And there's marketing that supports this. Once you pop, you can't stop. So you turn to those things and you don't stop. And then you also don't stop beating yourself up from turning to those things. You feel even more upset because, yeah, one cookie was nice, but three. And I just continued. And it's like, how is this whole bag gone? I just bought it. And those things that you used to make you feel better until they didn't. And then you begin to notice your body is changing and you're packing on the weight, or you're losing the weight because you're this sense of control. I'm not going to turn to that because I don't want that result. So there's this sense of control and restriction and constriction inside of you. And this feeling of being strangled inside of you. And the more you feel that, the more you hate yourself. And the more you hate yourself, the more you feel that. You see the problem? You see the circle and the pattern that you get stuck in, the cycle that you get caught and trapped in. And this starts off so slowly at first that you hardly recognize that it's happening. You don't even feel it. You don't even realize it. And then before you know it, look at me. How did I become this? And you continue to go back to those things that you used to that you've been using in an effort to cope, because then become a part of your coping mechanism, because they're also a part of your survival mechanism. You need food, you need a drink to survive, but you're choosing unhealthy foods and unhealthy drinks, ones that are getting you to where you are. But they're kind of like a therapist because they provide me comfort and they're always there for me, and they don't talk back to me. They don't make me feel worse about myself until they do, because there's a connection to that inner voice inside your head, that negative inner voice that's cheering you on to use the things that you're using to take you away from the emotions and the feelings that you don't want to feel, and causing you to either gain or lose parts of you, or both. And then you realize, oh my gosh, I've gained so much. I've lost so much. Maybe I've gained so much weight and I've lost so much confidence. Maybe I've gained a lot of money, but I've lost a lot of connection and love, because I keep turning to those things that are only temporarily satisfying and fulfilling. But I feel like my soul's depleted. And you feel completely off balanced. And now you realize, oh my gosh, I'm such a mess. Where do I start? Where do I begin to even clean up this mess? It's huge. I don't know how to fix this pile. I don't know what to do or where to go to clean it up. Oh, where's the wine? Where are those cookies again? Oh my gosh, I'm out. Let me go buy some more. And it's like you can hear all of those things that you use outside of you sweetly whispering in your ear, come here, my love. It's okay. I've got you. I'm here for you. I'll take care of you. I'll make you feel better. I will take away all the pain, all that sadness. And maybe this isn't food or alcohol or pills. Maybe it's bad relationships that distract you from the feelings that you don't want to feel, but cause more of the feelings that you feel that you don't want to. And you again get stuck in the cycle, and you continue to turn to those things that are a long-time friend and comforter. but are also causing more of the pain that you don't want to feel anymore. So think about how far back this goes. When you were a little kid and you were down or you fell down and your parents were like, "Oh, honey, it's okay. Let me kiss you. I'll give you a huggy. You want a cookie? Here, have some ice cream. You'll feel better. Just have a cookie. You'll feel better, okay?" And you're thinking, "Okay, mommy, I love you." Oh. And you receive that support, that comfort, that connection, that closeness, that love. You also receive cookie or an ice cream or something outside of you full of fat, full of sugar. And now this very same supporter and lover and comforter's friend is there for you today. I hope you weren't drinking alcohol when you were a little kid, but you see how this starts off. It started off as such an innocent thing when you were younger, is now this very unhealthy pattern, habit, and coping mechanism that's now causing you so much pain and gain in areas that you don't want to gain, and feelings of depletion, disconnection in areas that you want to feel connected in, supported, and loved in. So when you're ready to completely transform and change all that, I would love to take you even further into that. All of these are archetypes of the suffer bottler, and I've identified 5 archetypes in the emotionally abused and neglected that we go through in my free training and masterclass, and that you can look forward to breaking free from. So when you're tired of using food or alcohol as a therapist or friend and realize, wow, that's what I've been doing. How do I stop this? How do I break this habit and this pattern? Because I want to completely transform and change my life. I want to feel better about myself and everything else in my life. Then I would love to see you inside our next masterclass. You can find links in the description below this video, and look forward to freedom. All right, guys, that's it for today. Much love to all of you. Mwah. Bye for now.